Taxi drivers, doesn't matter whether you're a male or female, we're marriage consultants, psychiatric people. We have everyone telling us all their problems. And you've just got to be able to listen and help people out.
Those 10, 15, 20 minutes that you get to spend with people, people let their guards down really easily, and so they kind of let you in on these little, just snippets of their life, and that's really interesting. I think that's what I enjoyed most.
I'll be honest, it wasn't a job that I ever had on my radar to do, but when I married my husband, he had a taxi and I got my licence to help out. And now I've lost my husband, I'm doing the whole lot, running our business. I'm the first and only, at this stage, lady director for Ballarat Taxis. I've been a board member since 2012. I'm the only lady board member. At times they get a bit cross with me because I tell them it's a boys' club. The lady is always the last one to know what's happening. But because I've got a few cars, I need to know what's actually happening at board level to have a say in how my business is going. So I have 16 people drive for me, and the majority of those are females. There's more females driving now in the last 10 years than when I first started. It was very rare.
I started driving for Uber in April of 2015, and I probably finished around January 2017. It was a really convenient option. Having your own car, you get to work your own hours, on your own terms. Back then, taxi drivers were all male mostly. Like, it was very rare for you to get a female driver in a taxi. Like, I don't think I've ever had a female driver in Melbourne, maybe in the country, Victoria perhaps. It was definitely something I considered. I spoke to my partner about it, and I guess I put in given boundaries that I guess all women kind of do. We put these boundaries in place to protect ourselves. So I just decided I would never drive the late night shift, only because I don't want drunk men in my car and be in a situation where I can't necessarily get out of,
I'll be honest, I was against females driving at night. I always said we wouldn't have it. I go back 30 odd years, so then it was unusual to have a female driving at night. But now you'll see a lot of females driving at night, so it's the way the world's changed, I suppose. Everyone's out to make a living, and I tell them, if they feel uncomfortable when they go to pick someone up, drive off. It's not worth, it's worth losing a job than putting up with something that you just don't want to put up with.
I did one late night shift once, and had just someone who was drunk back of the car and just making sexual comments the whole ride, and I think that just affirmed for me that I made the right choice not working the late night shift. So from that experience, I just decided to not try it again, because I gave it one go and thought maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not bad, which I don't think it always is, but I just think as a female, I didn't want to deal with those comments, I didn't want to deal with any of it. So I just thought, why put myself in a situation like that when I can just work the same hours and better shifts at a different time?
My problem was a drunk during the day, so you can't stipulate whether it's going to happen day, night or in between. So I've had one in 36 years, maybe I'm lucky. I don't work at night though either, so that makes a difference too.
I myself probably have more been an uncomfortable female passenger, where car doors were locked before you got out, and then they would ask for your number before unlocking the door. A lot of my female friends were like, "Oh, are you sure you want to be an Uber driver? Like, that must be scary." And I think that's still the dialogue for a lot of women entering the industry. So, The whole point of Uber for me was there was transparency. So you knew where people lived, you had an address and a profile attached to it. So for me, that was always an added element of security for me being a female driver. If anything was to go wrong, there was some way to trace it back. People weren't gonna like push their luck because it was all connected to a profile.
When my husband passed away, an owner said to me, Liz, you won't be able to run these cars because females can't do it. So whenever my son says I've done a good job, I say to him, oh, not bad for a female, son. And him and I just laugh about it. But, you know, people can rise above things when they've got to rise above things.
There was that initial concern over like, oh, will male passengers be different? Will female passengers be easier? Am I safer with females? But that very quickly dissipated for me. I think when I realised that particularly the times I was driving, you were just picking up everyday people. You know, you were picking up people who wanted to get from point A to B. I remember picking a girl up, she just seemed really distraught. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, my mum just called, our family cat just died. And she just started crying. And so I was like, look, is there anything I can do? And she was like, I don't know, let's just talk about my cat. So we just spoke about her cat for the 20-minute ride. And I think by the end of it, she had calmed down a bit and it gave her time to kind of process it. And I know it's not a big deal, but like, you know, it was kind of nice having someone be quite intimate with you in a situation where you don't know them at all.
Female drivers are looked upon as probably more caring and more helpful than some men. There are some people that can't bear to have someone beside them that they don't know. I put a guy on the other day and he only lasted 1 hour because he didn't like having people beside him that he didn't know. And I said, well, that's taxi driving, you know. If you're going to be a taxi driver, you're not going to know every person that hops in your car, but you'll get to know them. And you don't have to be male or female to enjoy driving taxis. Just got to do the right thing and be polite to everybody, help people out.